So hello and welcome once again to our very own channel on TechWorks by Shripad Desai. Today I brought to you one another video on how to create a Google form. We'll see how one can create a Google form, how he can circulate that Google form and collect certain responses. So in the first place, what is Google form? Google Form is nothing but it's a web-based service or an app to create forms for data collection. Where are Google Forms used? Google Forms can be used for certain surveys, quizzes, event registration sheets, feedbacks, and so on. How can one create a Google Form? In the very first place, try and enter Google Forms in the search engine of Google. The first link which is opened is Google Forms free online surveys for personal use. Click on that link, then go to personal or go to Google Forms. You can observe here there are different categories of forms which are by default generated, like if you want to take a quiz or a feedback or contact information. I have generated certain Google Forms as per my requirement. You can observe that there is a Google Form related to quiz, one related to the undertaking, another related to student details, one another Google Form related to event feedback, and so on. As per your requirement, you can design a Google Form. In this particular video, we'll see how can one make a Google Form. Once you click on the blank option, there's a new form which is being generated. This is a blank new form. You can edit it as per your convenience. First and foremost, I'll mention the name of the form. The name of the form is very important. Let's say in our case, let's say we delivered a seminar yesterday on e-vehicles, one of the recent and most hot topics in the electrical engineering uh, arena. And today we are going to take feedback on that seminar which we delivered yesterday. Now let's say first and foremost I'll enter the title. I'll mention the title as feedback of seminar. Then you have to enter the form description. You can mention the description as to the date of the seminar or certain guidelines which one has to follow or certain timeline to which he has to submit this Google form. So in this case I'll just mention seminar held on 19th of August at Pune on e-vehicles. Now I have to take the feedback of the seminar which was delivered. Now what are certain important factors which you want in the form? We'll start with that. This is just a general form. One can definitely modify the form as per his or her requirement. In this case, I'll just mention your name. यहाँ पे बहुत से ऑप्शंस आते हैं जैसे कि शॉर्ट आंसर, पैराग्राफ, अगर आंसर जो फीडबैक आने वाला है उसका डिटेल्स थोड़ा ज़्यादा है तो डेफिनेटली यू कैन मेक यूज ऑफ पैराग्राफ. देयर आर सर्टेन check boxes which you can do, multiple choice which will be looking forward to, drop down options as well. So in my case I am just asking you the name, so I'll keep it as short answer. And if I want this field as mandatory, that every person who is going to fill the form should fill the name as well, in that case I'll keep this as required, that is this is going to be a mandatory field. Then I'll click here on duplicate. Then I can mention here contact number, which is very important these days. I'll keep this as short answer as well. And I also feel that this is a important data which I want and it is required, so I'll keep this field as mandatory. The third thing I want to take from my people who are going to fill the form is related to the name of the institute or the organization in which they work. So I'll name it as institute or department, and I want this to be just a short answer, so I'll keep it as short answer. If you feel that the word length is going to be very high, you can mention it as paragraph also. For the time being, I'll keep it as short answer, and I want this as a mandatory field, so I can keep it as mandatory. I'll click on one more tab. Now I want to ask them a multiple choice question as to, I want to take their feedback as to how will they rate the technical expertise of the presenter. So here I want it in the form of a multiple choice, so I can select a multiple choice. Then the options which I want to give them are good, very good, and excellent. So one can select as per his convenience. Here it is. Then one more question I want to add, and that is related to any suggestions if they have to give me. So I'll keep this as paragraph because suggestions can be large, can be small, depends upon the user. So I'll keep it as suggestions or feedbacks. I don't want this as a mandatory field. Like, even if you skip this, it's fine for me. That is why I'm going to put this off option for mandatory field. This is the actual way in which I'm going to create the Google form. This is the basic Google form which I have created. Now let's say I want to modify this form by certain customized themes, so I can definitely make use of different colors. For the time being, I'll keep this in this particular color. If you want to change the background color, you can definitely make use of the background color. The font style, I'll keep this as simple. So this is the way I have actually changed it. This is the way how the form is actually looking. But still I want to add header. I can make use of choose an image. You can see there are different category of headers like birthdays, illustrations, sports and games, and much more. This is a feedback form and relates to education, so I will search something from work and school. I think this is going to serve my purpose, so I'll click here. I'll say insert. I'll just wait for 1 or 2 seconds until this gets uploaded. Here it is. It looks nice now. Your Google form is now created. Now it's the time to circulate this Google form to your participants or to different people from which you would like to collect the data. What you'll do is, once the form is being created, I'll say send. You can share the link of this Google form through Facebook or to any other social media or even your WhatsApp. I'll click here for the link. There's a link which is being generated for your Google form. I wish and I want that this link is shortened, so I'll click here shorten URL. So this is the new link which I can easily share on any social media site, and I also want to collect the email addresses of the people who are filling the form. So I'll just click here, yes, and for the time being I'll just copy the link of this Google form. My Google form is ready. Now the second thing is how to fill this Google form and how to collect the responses. Now let's say the Google form is created. Now user 2. Now I'll just open a new browser and I will try to fill the details of that Google form as a second user. So this is a different email ID as well. I will try and fill the Google form which is now created as a different user. So here it's looking like a good Google form which is being created, and now I'm going to fill it as a different user. So first and foremost I'll have to put my email ID. So I'll put my official email ID, that is the official email ID of our channel. I'll put my name here. It's going smoothly, there's no issue. We have to put the contact number. I have put the contact number as well. I have to put the details of the department to which I belong to. I'll mention it. Here it is. Now the multiple choice question comes. Like you can select any of those. How will you rate the technical expertise of the presenter? I feel they were excellent. That is why I'm going to select excellent. Any suggestions or feedbacks? It's not a mandatory field. You can definitely submit it without selecting this, giving this answer, but I'll just mention it as here it is. And now the Google form is being filled. Now what I'll do, I'll be submitting it. Now the form is submitted. This was done from the second user perspective. Now if you are the creator of the Google form, you can observe here that someone has filled the form. You can see that there's a response being generated here, response 1. And who has filled? It is me, Shripad Desai, who has filled the form. You can see what are his responses, what he feels about your technical expertise as a presenter. You can also view this on the spreadsheet, which is going to give you a very good indication. I'll say create a new spreadsheet, and it will take some time. It will open. Here it is. Very interesting that the timestamp at which date and time the form is being filled, the email address, the name, the contact number, the department, how he is rating you, and has he given any suggestions, all is being collected here. This is only for one user. You can collect it for multiple users. So this is what is very easy for data collection as well. In case you are a you have designed this Google form, and after some days you feel that now there are a lot of responses which I have collected, and I want that the responses should be stopped. So definitely you can click on this option, accepting responses. You just close this, so no one will be able to fill the response after the deadline is over. So this is how your Google form is being created and the data is being generated, and one can definitely access this data. It is very convenient for all of us. You can definitely make use of this Google Forms for surveys, quizzes, events, registration sheets, feedbacks, and much more, many more things. So that's it for this particular topic today. In the new video session which I'll be creating on this channel, I'll make it a point that we make a video on Google Forms for quizzes which we hold online, and how certificates are directly given to the users who pass in that particular online quiz. So be tuned to the channel, please subscribe the channel so that you get the notification at the earliest. Thank you.